What is happening, and well, let's talk about the stuff that was announced for the Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2 that happened basically yesterday or the day before yesterday, depending on when you guys are actually going to be seeing this video, because that's basically I think when it's going to be uploaded, because I'm going to be doing the recap video, which I'm actually recording now, but yesterday, or rather basically I'm going to be uploading the price video first before doing this one. But yeah, so basically here we have the the Nintendo Direct opening, and the first thing we get shown is Mario Kart World, which, like, okay, it seems like a normal enough Mario Kart, and then eventually we get to see being an ability to be able to change the characters' looks, hairstyles, and things like that, but also the ability to grind off walls, which I feel like I've just completely skipped. Yeah, the ability to grind on walls and rails and whatever have you. The ability to actually be able to travel off the world, and when you do say something like, for example, a Grand Prix, rather than like racing on one track and then immediately teleporting to the next one, you'll actually drive from the finish line of the first track to the next track to the next track, which seems like a cool idea. Also, I don't know why I have closed captions on, to be honest. But yeah, that seemed like a cool idea. Unfortunately, due to pricing, I can't say that I agree, nor will actually be buying the game just purely for that reason alone. And of course, conditions can change, so they're basically just going with the open world aspect to it. So yeah, like you'd be driving from one place to another after finishing the race, basically. With the other competitors, stuff like Knockout Tour are just other examples. And it looks like there's going to be a decent amount of new tracks as well, but you also need to place a certain point in each Grand Prix to continue moving to the next race. You know, we've got stuff like that, driving off and seeing like various other shortcuts. Man, there's a decent amount of time was actually like shown. But basically, Mario Kart World is actually going to be dropping same day as the Switch 2 is, so this is very much a launch title. So the next thing that they are going to be showing off is the C button. Now, the C button, a lot of people have been making videos about the C button, talking about like, what the heck is this thing? It's a new button, we've never seen it before, what's it going to do? Basically, the C button is game chat. Game chat is only available for Nintendo Switch Online owners, but it's going to be freely available only for the first year, and basically people can just connect together, chat with each other, and so you've got a microphone in the console itself, so when you're talking, the console microphone is going to pick up your audio, which is going to be interesting because I don't know how the audio is going to be picked up if, like, say, well, there's a good example that there's a blender in the background, for example. So apparently the microphone has to be really good for something like that to work. But also, when you press the C button, you get this menu where you can share your gameplay, mute yourself, add a video of yourself, which you can use USB-C cameras, and they do show off one that looks kind of ridiculous, as well as other settings, or just exiting the game chat as well. The C button actually just brings up that particular thing, and then you can just share across. But the sharing of gameplay looks kind of rough, because you can see just how like some of the games are slowing down. I don't know if it's because Nintendo's infrastructure is not particularly good for online related content. So it does kind of make me wonder like what on earth they're going to be doing. And of course, being able to look at someone else's screen, move it around and make it bigger or whatever have you. Yeah, it does seem a little bit like, you know, jank. We've got Zelda, we've got, yeah, Mike, so... And here we got the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, which some people are saying looks like Rob, but also it doesn't look good. It's interesting that you're able to put yourself in front of the game, but this very much feels like it's aimed at the TikTok generation for some reason. And I don't know why that is, and it kind of hurts me on the inside to see that. But yeah, here it is in use in game. So like if you're doing like the mini games at Mario Party, for example, you can use your face instead of your character. Though to be completely honest, I'm the type of person who would never want my face to be on the game. I'd rather just, hey, look, here's the character, or just make some Miis or something. Like, I wish Miis would come back. That would be cool. That would be cool. But anyway. So far we've had Mario Kart World and Game Chat, basically. And some of the stuff is also pretty pricey. Like, I think the Switch 2 Joy-Cons are 90 USD, and the camera is 50 or 60 USD, something like that. And the kicker is you need Nintendo Switch Online to use Game Chat, which kind of sucks, but is open only until the end of March 31st, 2026. So only for like, not even a year, probably like 8 months or something. And then parental switch controls, which we've kind of seen an ad for before. Don't need to talk too much about that. Okay, so here's something interesting. Do you guys remember DS Download Play from the Nintendo DS? Basically, you're gonna be able to play games through something called GameShare. GameShare is basically DS Download Play. So basically, one person owns the game and another person can then play with the person who has the game. They get to download a little bit of content for a short period of time to be able to play that game. But the thing is that when it came to, say, for example, Mario Kart DS, when I play DS Download Play, I can pick any character I've unlocked because I own the game. But if I'm playing with someone else, they are stuck with Shy Guy and stuck with only Shy Guy, and I'm the one who's able to pick the tracks that I've unlocked. So it's an interesting idea to bring back DS Download Play. I just really don't know how it's going to work until the games do become available. Like, for example, with Super Mario Odyssey, will you only be able to play a limited amount of the game in that way? You know, and it's only going to be select games. Like I said, DS Download Play was only available for a handful of titles, and that very much remains to be the case. So here we go. So now here we're looking at the actual hardware improvements of the Nintendo Switch 2. So a slightly bigger screen with the same thickness. It does make me wonder, is it going to weigh more? So going up a solid 1.7 inches, but still remaining 13.9 millimeters in thickness. HD display, so of course this is how much bigger the screen is, which is basically twice as many pixels from what I recall them talking about. But more interestingly is this. I did not ever expect Nintendo to ever talk about frames in a game. So up to 120 FPS on games playing at 1080p, and if you're playing 4K with HDR, you're limited to, I think, 60 FPS. But the thing is that, and the Joy-Cons attach magnetically, though I feel like we kind of already knew that to some extent. And you need to press the eject button to kind of slide it off, basically. Bigger SL and SR buttons, because of course those were absolutely tiny on the original Joy-Con, as you could probably tell. So playing with them is a lot easier now. Being able to use it as a mouse is a new thing. And of course, improved speaker and audio. And of course the microphone, how can we forget? Game, noise, voice. So microphone, I don't know why they're showing the headset. The kickstand looks really, not even kickstand, it's a proper stand. And it's adjustable angle, which is really cool. So the thing is that that's actually quite nice. It's better than the tiny ass kickstand. 2 USB ports, one in the bottom, one at the top. We already kind of looked at the Switch from the original, so you could probably put in a camera, say, for example. They really are trying to push it. Then you've of course got the power port. So one of the bigger complaints about the Switch one was you can't play it handheld and, you know, plug it into a charger. That's another thing as well. Larger, faster storage. Basically, you're up to 250 gigs of storage, but that's still kind of pathetically small. And you are going to need to use, rather than a normal SD card, you're going to need to use a SD Express card. The dock supports 4K, but you are limited to, I think, 60 FPS. And you might be thinking, hold on, how the hell can this thing do 4K 60 FPS? The reason for it might have to do with the machine learning that is going on with this device, but we don't know that 100% yet, because nothing specific has been mentioned. They also have decent cooling within the actual dock itself. So a dock is a significantly chunkier boy rather than a dock for being a dock's sake. And of course we've got, the Switch 2 games, we've got the Joy-Con 2s, and we've got a game in the background. So yeah, just kind of showing off a few of those tiny things, and now we have a new game called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which looks like it would be a pack-in game that you kind of just are a tiny character moving around, interacting with different elements of the actual Nintendo Switch 2. So you might think, surely this has got to be a pack-in game, right? Like, ooh, where are the magnets? Here are the magnets. Here are details about them. It's just a tutorial. Finally, they're going to give us a free game or something like that, right? So the funny thing is that this is actually not free, and I think is also... So it's available the same day as Nintendo Switch 2 as a paid digital-only game. So I think it's I can't remember if it's confirmed or not, but this game is going to cost 80 USD, I think. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 game cards are going to look a little different because they have red bordering on them, which is an interesting idea. I hope they taste as bad. Additional storage, you're going to need to use, rather than a micro SD, you're going to need to use a micro SD Express, which is still relatively pricey at 200 USD for a 2 terabyte. So maybe the prices of those will go down soon anyway. So yeah, unfortunately, no can do with the SD or the XE. You got to use the Express. Data transfers can work for save games, digital data, and whatever have you. The Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which has a C button and back paddles, costing 80 USD, which is cheaper than the actual Joy-Cons themselves, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, the more you know, I guess, really. Nintendo Switch game types, so you've got basically Nintendo Switch 2 games, Nintendo Switch 1 games that you can play on there, and then Nintendo Switch 2 versions of Nintendo Switch 1 games. This is the explanation about PS4 to PS5 games, where you can play PS4 games on PS5, but also some of those PS4 games have PS5 versions, so exactly the same idea here. And the Nintendo Switch 2 editions also usually tend to have more content, like Jamboree TV, for example, with Super Mario Party Jamboree, and what's it called? And some of these, some of the gameplay shown does include the mouse and the camera and stuff like that are new to the Switch 2. So this is really just, hey, buy the same game again. Well, not really, because you do get a bit of an upgrade pack that just, the price was never explained. But hey, we get dates on everything. So 24th of July 2025, which is almost 2 months after the game. And then we also have Zelda Breath of the Wild and of course Tears of the Kingdom, both coming to Nintendo Switch 2 as well, having their own Nintendo Switch 2 versions, and Zelda Notes being part of the Nintendo Switch app, which is the only new functional feature that was actually explained or talked about as far as this game is concerned. And of course, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is coming out on Nintendo Switch 2, but you're also getting a new little mini campaign called Star-Crossed World. So that's at least interesting. And Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is also coming to Nintendo Switch 2 as well. And of course, it has that mouse gameplay. So the left stick is probably going to be used for movement, and right stick is going to be used for, like, shooting and turning and stuff like that. And of course, 4K 60 and 1080p at 120 FPS. Though I suppose handheld mode technically is going to be slightly less. Pokemon Legends ZA is also getting Nintendo Switch 2 version as well. And so basically here are the list of games right here. Physical and digital versions are available. And of course, if you own a version of the game, you get it via the upgrade pack, but nothing in terms of pricing had actually been specified. This then they showed off the first new original game we have not yet known about, outside of the tutorial game that we have to pay for, is Drag Drive, which is a wheelchair basketball game. And it uses both Joy-Cons as mice, I suppose, and it's coming to summer 2025. It's interesting, but I don't know about this one, Chief. I'm not feeling it. Now, other games that we're getting are going to be Elden Ring. So these are basically like the third-party games that we're going to be going through. So Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. Hades 2 is also coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Alongside that, there's also Street Fighter 6 something edition. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Fighters Edition? Yeah, Fighters Edition, which contains content from years 1 and 2, which is actually kind of cool. But they're also getting amiibos as well. Deus Ex Machina is also coming to Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know if this is a sequel or a side game, but Titanic Scion is what the name of the game is. So that's another thing. Split Fiction is coming to Switch 2, and yeah, this one I feel like must have just been an obvious one because it just encourages that sort of co-op play locally. EA is also now bringing EAFC and Madden to basically Switch 2 as well. WB is bringing Hogwarts Legacy to Switch 2, which is interesting. Tony Hawk's 3+4 Pro like Thips 3 and 4 is coming to Switch 2 as well. And at the end of the trailer, oh my god, hold on, I have to show you guys this. So they're showing off some of the skaters, some of the locations, and then jumps into the water. Boom, we get a skate park in Bikini Bottom, which is insane. That is the most exciting thing I've seen this entire presentation. But basically, IO Interactive is also talking about Hitman World of Assassination coming to Switch 2 alongside... Okay, I'm done. It's James Bond. The new James Bond game that they are working on has finally been announced. And they don't go into much more detail. They just say, oh, it's a 007 game and that's it. Now, we get Bravely Default coming to Switch 2 as well, I guess. So I guess Square is in on the game to some extent. It's called Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Add more words into there. Ryuga Gotoku Studios is also here, and they bring Yakuza 0 to the Switch 2. Unfortunately, they didn't announce every game in the series to come in, but yeah, you know what? 0 is my personal favorite of the entire franchise. Koei Tecmo is bringing the Muso games of the Hyrule Warriors games forward in the form of a Muso game in which you play as Zelda, leading into the event of Tears of the Kingdom and basically kind of what happened to her before she went missing. It's called Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and it's coming in the winter. What else did they... Oh yeah, so basically, the Switch Online, and you better bloody well hope that this was going to be the case, applies across both your Switch and your Switch 2, and so that does also include the expansion pass, which gives you access to things like GBA games, GBA games, N64 games, Animal Crossing, Splatoon content, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe pack, and Genesis games. But in addition to that, we also get a little something else. Yes, GameCube games are finally also coming to Nintendo Switch Online, though to be honest, I've been playing GameCube games on my... I've been playing it on my Switch anyway, so I guess it doesn't make that big of a difference to me personally. But also, a Nintendo GameCube Nintendo Classics controller is also going to be available for purchase alongside it. So, the GameCube games we're getting are Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, which is an excellent game, F-Zero GX. Oh, multiplayer. You can play online, and also it includes like split screen. Neat. So I actually quite like that. But also we have Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem, Pokemon XD, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo for some ungodly reason is it? What the heck? Luigi's Mansion. I didn't catch that one on the right. Oh, it's Pokemon Coliseum. Of course it does. But yeah, the Nintendo GameCube, man, that was always a weird looking controller to me. I was like holding it wrong for the longest time when I was like playing it at a in a family member's house, like way back when. But yeah, it also includes the C button for in-game chat and things like that. Yeah. So that'll be added to Nintendo Switch Online, and of course online expansion. Yeah, so all of that is playable. All of them. Yeah, so NES games or SNES games, NES games, Game Boy for online and online plus expansion is GBA, Nintendo 64, and Sega Genesis, and I assume expansion pack is going to include the what's it called, the GameCube stuff as well. And of course, Deltarune 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 chapters apparently are going to be coming to Switch as well, which is interesting. I'm just waiting for it to... actually, no, did it come to PlayStation? I can't remember. Oh, did I... Yeah, Switch... Nintendo Switch 2 launch day, so there you go. Gary Pitchford... Randy Pitchford talking about Borderlands 4, so of course that game is also coming to Switch. 2, Civ 7... There's a bunch of these games that are coming. WWE 2K, NBA 2K, and I think there's something else that's coming. Survival Kids, I guess that's another third-party game. So, like, we're talking about third-party games now. So, I think Enter the Gungeon is also coming into the Gungeon 2, actually. So, it's a new game announcement. I think this was Astroneers initially, but then I think I got the name completely wrong, and apparently it's a new game. Yeah, so Starseeker's Astroneer Expeditions. Oh yeah, and here we go. So Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is coming to Switch 2, and I think, if I remember correctly, it does include DLC. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate is coming to Switch 2. So Integrate, if you don't remember, is basically Final Fantasy 7 Remake plus the Yuffie DLC alongside it. So that's cool to see. Kunitagami Path of the Goddess coming to Nintendo Switch 2. So here we have the Hollow Knight Silksong, which is actually talked about. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar coming also to Switch 2. 2 Point Museum, Goodnight Universe, Wild Hearts S, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, which I'm looking forward to. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I should just let the reel go by itself. Star Wars Outlaws. Is that all of it? Yeah, I think that's all of it. Because basically they just had kind of like a sizzle reel at the back. Oh, Nobunaga's Ambitions, Fast Fusion. What else do we have here? Shadow Labyrinth. Oh yeah, so the Pac-Man game. Raido Remastered, which was announced recently for the Switch. Also previously announced No Sleep for Kaname Date. Reanimal, which I don't know if that's a new game or not. I feel like it must have been announced. Fortnite, because every Platinum for some goddamn reason has to have a version of Fortnite on it. Arcade 2, Ridge Racer. So I think we're getting more Arcade Legends as well. Arcade, yeah. Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. Tamagotchi Plaza, which was announced for Switch, is also coming to Switch 2. Interesting. Human Fall Flat 2, which I don't know if this was already previously announced. I feel like I kind of knew about it to some extent, but maybe it's already out on PC and I just really have not been paying any attention to it. And I think we're almost at the end. Basically, this trailer is for a new FromSoft game that is apparently going to be exclusive to Switch 2. So it's a FromSoft game. I can't remember what it's called, but it's very much themed around vampires and may very well be the closest thing we're getting to a how would I describe it? The closest thing to a possible Bloodborne 2, yeah, that I could think of. Because if you can't make Bloodborne, you can only make Bloodborne in a spiritual successor and make it a better game. So yeah, the Duskbloods looks interesting, but because it's going to be exclusive to Switch in 2026, I don't think I'm going to be playing it unless it goes like, you know, unless it's able to be, emulated. We'll ignore the creator's voice stuff, but yeah, basically we're getting another trailer in the form of, okay, so this is the star from Kirby, and this is actually a trailer for Kirby Air Riders, a sequel to Kirby Air Ride from the GameCube. And I played a little bit of Kirby Air Ride, and it was actually quite a fun racer, so I'm actually quite excited for Air Riders, but I will be waiting for when it becomes emulatable, and it is being directed by Sakurai, so have fun with that. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Smash game from him anytime soon, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I think there's only one more announcement, which is I think this one, which is basically so people were guessing during the live stream while watching this that it's going to be some sort of Mario platform, but no, it's actually a Donkey Kong platformer that we're getting in quite some time, and it does look like a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's going to be coming out for Nintendo Switch 2 as well. I don't know if it's going to be getting a Nintendo Switch 1 version. I assume not, but yeah, you never know. Donkey Kong Bonanza being the game in question, 17 July 2025. Yep, so basically I think that's about everything, and that the Switch 2 is releasing on the 5th of June 2025, and that pre-orders are going to be available from, I think, like 9th of April or something like that, so maybe just keep an eye out for that. But basically that was the whole presentation in a nutshell. A nutshell that was about 25 minutes long, which is basically half the presentation anyways, so I don't think I did really that much of a good job anyways. But with all that being said, however, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.